Go. Awesome. Well, welcome to the show. My name is Gino. Welcome to Contractors Mastermind 2020 edition. We got Gabriel on the line here. How you doing, man?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome. I'm doing awesome. Well, to get us going, we're gonna dive right in. To get us started, tell us a little about you, your business, when you started, and we'll kind of get rolling from there.
Okay. Well, my name's Gabriel. I have a company called Gabriel Elijah's Home Remodeling.
Nice.
We operate out of Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. And I started the business. This is our second year. I started working in construction when I was 16 years old, and that was about 20 years ago.
Awesome. Awesome.
We try to be a full service remodeling company. We focus on interior, residential upgrades, and renovations.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Is there anything you specialize in particularly, or do you do like kitchen, bath, like the whole gambit, or is there one that you prefer to do over the other?
I prefer to do it all because doing one of anything all the time would just be drudgery to me.
I
You
hear
know,
you. I hear you. I hear you.
don't put me at a desk and don't make me do the same thing every day, I guess, and that's why I love my job.
I hear you.
We specialize in being a one-stop shop for a residential homeowner.
Cool.
Aside from the licensed trades like electrician, electrical, and plumbing. But what we want to do is be able to build and maintain and retain a client for life. So
Yeah.
if somebody needs flooring, they could call us. If somebody needs painting, they could call us. If somebody needs a bathroom or a kitchen, they can call us.
Right.
And it's when you find a good client, especially in today's world, it's kind of like a seller beware thing, over buyer beware these days. It's good to retain their business.
Right.
And the reason that I think I try to focus on such a vast amount of trades is just so that we are versatile enough to maintain those long-term relationships.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have clients that I've been doing business with for 15 years. The same house. If I did only bathrooms, there's only so many bathrooms in a house.
Touche. Touche. That's awesome. How large of an operation you got going right now? I'm assuming you got other guys underneath. You've been doing this for 2 years. What's that looking like currently?
Well, it got smacked down by COVID-19, but before that all broke out, it was myself and three guys going full time, and we were busy as we could be. There's definitely room for me to have a bigger operation, but finding good labor in the trade industry is pretty hard to do these days. The trades are a field that have been neglected for 20, 30, maybe even 40 years, and so we're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel out here as contractors with hiring people as far as skilled labor goes. Apprentices, sure, you can find an apprentice and train somebody, but find somebody who's got 20 years and is talented and a professional, it's very hard to do. Or they're on their own working by themselves already.
Yeah, I was talking to one guy. He almost was, it's like, I don't know, the subcontracting out versus like them working for it. It's like, where's the balance meet, with what would work most effectively? I hear you. I guess everyone's got to figure that out for themselves.
Yeah, it's like a slow growth thing. I really want to maintain quality control. And so I'm just not willing to have a bunch of people like, there's a term in the industry and I hate it called acceptable quality. To me, that means good enough, but why not do it the way it should be done? So
Right.
I don't know the details, and I'm very picky. I guess I kind of took your question and ran with it.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect.
My operation was 4 men strong, and COVID-19 came. We had about 2 months worth of work drop off of the books, and so I had to let everybody go. Now I have one guy back with me, my main guy from before, and we're working full time. We're booked through the month.
Yeah, yeah. So what, leading up to this point, we'll talk more about like where we're at currently, but like leading up to this point, what are some of the biggest struggles and biggest obstacles you had to overcome kind of growing your business up into this point? And we'll kind of transition into where you're at currently with that.
Well, I think the biggest struggle was going from a worker, from an employee mindset, to a business owner or an entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
It's a totally different concept. I struggled with pricing. I struggled with knowing my value. When I first started working independently, I would charge, just a little bit more than what I was getting paid at a 9 to 5, and that didn't work out to pay the man or for insurance or truck upgrades or anything like that. So I guess just going from, adapting and gaining the administration skills has been the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
That's the biggest.
So if you had to start over from day one, would you have done anything differently leading up to now? Anything?
Day one, meaning 20 years ago when I started as a framing laborer, or day one, a year and 5 months ago?
I don't know. Take it as you want. It could mean a whole lot of different things. You might have started sooner, or what would I don't know. Either or is fine. Whatever one you want to run with.
What would I do differently? I would have gained a more in-depth. Yeah, I would have starting from day one, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I would have focused on my administration skills.
Gotcha.
Marketing, accounting, business management, what have you, because that's something that later in the game, it's like stifled my growth.
Right.
Like, you can be a great carpenter. You can be the best carpenter in the world and not know anything about business and fall flat on your face trying to be a contractor.
Yeah. I hear you.
So that's what I would have done. I would have put that cart before the horse. But at the end of the day, I don't know any carpenters who have more skill than me. Maybe one guy, but he's about 55 years old. So he's got 20 years. He should be better. I think I did it pretty well. I was a bored young guy, and I did framing for like 2 years. I got bored with that. I did remodeling. I got bored with that. Then I went and did some roofing and siding work for a while. I got bored with that. I went back into remodeling. I was, and through doing that, jumping around, which probably scared the shit out of my family because they're like, this guy's never going to keep a job. I've been able to acquire a multitude of skill sets.
Yeah.
It gives me an extreme edge over somebody who's just done framing their whole life, or somebody who's just done painting their whole life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so much of this stuff is, hindsight is 20/20. So it's like, would you have changed anything, or has like everything played to where you're at currently? You know what I mean? So it's like, kind of depends on how you look at it. I'm just curious to hear the responses that I get out of that one.
To tell you the truth, Gene, if I had a magic wand, I wouldn't want to tweak my past at all, because I wouldn't really be able to tell how that would affect my, my present. And I mean, I'm just living a blessed life. I really am. So.
Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Like you said, 20/20, hindsight's 20/20. But would I actually take a chance of having anything be different today? No. I want things to be the way they are today.
Now, on the topic of 2020, we're gonna kind of switch it up here. What's been the toughest part of 2020 for you guys? What's that look like? I mean, leading up to COVID-19, like and I mean COVID-19, how are you adjusting to current circumstances? What are you looking to do kind of moving forward? It's interesting. I've heard of some guys like roofing contractors, for example, they're doing a lot of like online, virtual estimates, like through computers, through like, there's different apps and stuff. And I know the remodeling game can be a little bit differently, but it's like, I'm wondering almost too, it's like how else, how can you meet customers where they're at and kind of navigate this cycle? I'm just curious as to your thoughts, or like what you're trying to move forward with and what's that's looking like.
Well, I'm very cautious about who I'm surrounding myself with. Not really cautious, but aware of their health. because I want to make sure that if I'm around somebody that I think might be sick, then I'm going to take a couple days or maybe even 2 weeks to make sure that I'm not going to get sick, and I want to, make sure that I keep everybody safe. We're not using customer bathrooms. I'm wearing gloves and a mask when I go to give an estimate for a stranger, somebody that I haven't met.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, being a salesman, when I come into your door to give you an estimate on your bathroom, I want to look you right in the eyes and give you a good firm handshake. That's out the door. So now it's like me talking to somebody behind a bandana. It's kind of like, it's just different. The hardest thing with COVID has been the disappointment, the fear, which I'm not sure if it's, based, if it's 100% justified or not. I guess we won't know that for a while to come, or maybe we never will. But, 2020 was going to be my year. Like 2019, I kind of limped by. I made some new connections, but 2020 was going to be my year. And it was going, it took off like a rocket. And then it just got shut down. So I had to dig real deep to find the strength to keep pushing forward, because it was really defeating, that all taken away. I mean, like I said, we're in May now, and this happened in February or March. So I was booked up until June in March, and then everything dropped off. And now even still, I'm only booked until the end of May.
Is that mostly for like remodel jobs, or is that for do you have a bunch of different kind of jobs sprinkled in there?
Yeah, it was remodeling, residential.
Yeah.
I work with a good amount of realtors, and some of them were, they were referring me clients. So, like, for example, a customer had just bought a house nearby, and they wanted a new kitchen, new bathrooms, and a finished basement.
Right.
The stock market plummeted. They backed out. So that right there was about 70 grand.
Yeah.
And, the hits came repeatedly after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was all remodeling projects, though, to answer your question shortly.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess I know we've kind of talked about this, but I mean, is there really if you go back 6 months, and this is kind of a different framing of the question, but if you go back 6 months and prepare for COVID-19 and you knew it was coming, what would you have done differently?
I would go and buy a couple pallets of hand sanitizer and toilet paper.
Yeah.
I know that's a smart response, but that's the smart move.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I would do. I don't think there's anything that could be done differently. If you knew what was coming, you're still going to have the same situation occur. You're still going to have clients who are scared. You're still going to have clients who are well, when I say scared, I mean scared of financial loss, scared of losing their job, scared of infection from other people. I don't really think that could have been done. Yeah.
Well, it's it's hard to say too. I know in some industries, some guys I work with, there's a couple different. Some people are still spending money, and that's the thing. It's where are the customers at, but a lot of the interior design, remodeling kind of stuff has slowed because no one really wants people entering their house. When it comes to emergency, water damage repair, fire damage, that's one thing. I mean, obviously you're not going to let, 2 feet of water in your basement just sit there, but yeah, the new granite countertops can kind of go, but also I know, I don't know, it's could there be more business working in outside stuff, doing fencing or building sheds outside, or I don't know. I'm curious because I've got a couple guys that are actually picked up business during this kind of year, during everything that's been going on. It's where does that, I'm not saying it's in every market or every state, but it's where I'm wonder how that could be for you. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here.
And you kind of sparked something in my mind, in my memory. I can fairly say that when the shit hit the fan with COVID, I backed off. I didn't continue to market. And the only difference between me being busy this month and not being busy last month is that I'm marketing. would probably have kept. I'll give you another answer. I would have kept.
Hey, I kind of lost you there.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's perfect.
I don't know where I cut it. What I was saying is, I think you're right. I think that if I had kept marketing, then I would have been in a much better position.
Yeah.
When all this stuff hit the fan and the quarantine talks and the curfew was set in place, I stopped. I pulled back as well. So it wasn't only my customers pulling back; it was me pulling back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not taking it as heavily now as I was when it first came out, when it first started happening. That was a scary moment. I remember
it was super crazy. I don't hold it against you at all. That was like right around my birthday. My birthday was in middle of March. I'm like, the world's blowing up. Like, how does this all happen, you know? It's crazy.
And I was in Florida from the 20th of February through the like the 1st of March. I think we got back on like might have been the 29th that we got back. But anyway, I was there for 9 days.
Yeah.
So business was good. Everything was great. I came back and that stuff hit the fan. And like you said, you don't know what you know. Like maybe I could have done something different, maybe not, but I did. I freely let customers cancel contracts and obligations, and I also decided to go off on my marketing.
Yeah.
I did some work on my girlfriend's farm. So it's honestly, I think that if you, and even to potential homeowners that are watching this, if you have a respectable company that you're working with, and I don't see any reason for construction to be hindered by this at all.
Yeah.
Stations, sanitation stations for their guys and everything.
Right. What do your plans look like next 6 months, year? You have any benchmarks or any goals that you're looking for, even long term? Like, what's like the dream of your business look like for you?
Well, for right now, I mean, long term, for the next 6 months, I'm just kind of riding the wave and seeing where it goes.
Yeah.
Happens. Every month it's going to change, I think. Long term, the company is designed to be, I want it to be one of the first, nationally recognized name brands in home remodeling, and kind of do construction industry, to the service side of the construction industry, what home pros have done to the supply side of the construction industry.
Nice.
So we're just going to be that one-stop shop.
Yeah. What so
state and then the East Coast, and from there.
Yeah, exactly. So if a customer, if you had to explain to a customer how you like differentiated to like 3 of your competitors, what would be that differentiating factor about you guys?
From my competitors?
Yeah, maybe just like 2 or 3 of them. Like what would make you different versus 2 or 3 other companies similar to yours, or contractors similar to yours?
Well, I pay my guys very well.
Yeah.
I maintain a happy, positive work environment. So my guys, when they come to work, they're happy to be there. Nobody's jumping to get out and go home. Everybody's a gentleman and a professional.
Yeah.
The other thing is that, Mr. and Mrs. Jones don't need a painter, a flooring guy, a window guy, a siding guy, a deck guy. They only need Gabriel, Elijah.
Yeah.
And, that offers a lot of convenience and security to the homeowner. Let's face it, the trades are muddy waters, and you're flipping a coin when you get somebody new. So if you have somebody you're comfortable with, why not stay there? Yeah. So there's that, and also our zest for excellence, and also we stand by our work for life.
Yeah.
If there's ever a craftsmanship or workmanship, we stand by it. And that's not a 5-year, that's not a 10-year. That's as long as I'm alive, as long as the company's going, we're there.
That's awesome. All right. So last question. It's my favorite one. Any advice, comments, rude remarks, smart comments, whatever you want to throw out there for anybody who may be listening in the future, or anything that we left out and you wanted to share?
Yeah, to the kids in high school thinking about a trade or thinking about what they want to do in the future, look deeply into the trade.
Say that one more time.
Any kid, any youngster or even young adult who's trying to consider what they might do for a career path, I would highly advise that they look into the construction industry.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying carpentry, and I know I was knocking being only a painter. Hey, if you love to paint, then paint all day. You're gonna do it with loud rock music playing in the background, jeans and a t-shirt. And you know, this industry is sorely lacking labor and true professionals. So to anybody who can, be a professional and do a good job, you're almost guaranteed a six-figure income, and you don't even need a college degree.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be my advice for the audience.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. Well, I'm going to wrap up the show here in just a second. Thanks for hopping on the show, man. I'm going to hit the end record button here real quick.
You're welcome.